What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the QQT Studios Liberation Kit for Magic Square's Lord of War, or their version of Bruticus. So I just did an unboxing to show you what comes in the box. Here's everything, and did a little bit of comparison with the colors. And now we're going to put it together and form Bruticus. I did do a test run, and a little word to the wise is you don't want to be taking this apart once you put it together. It's very difficult to take it off. For the purpose of review, I am going to show it. But after that, I will probably not be switching it until we get the Toon Deco kit. That'll probably stay on there permanently. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm going to start off with the legs and show you how to do those. It is obviously very similar to the original combiner, but there's some little subtle differences and some things that are a little bit easier, some things a little bit harder. So I'll point those out. I did want to mention I did glue the broken rotor blades here. Unfortunately, broken in the box, so I did mention that to them so that they could pack it a little bit differently, but it does now stay together, so there you go. But let's get started. We'll start off with the legs. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the feet. And I was kind of questioning, why is this so big? Well, that's the cavity is to fit this piece. This no longer is needed. You know, this cover piece that's folded in here, no longer needed for the combine mode. And that's why it kind of folds up. So we're going to take this, fold this back. You can see there's a little slot here. This peg is going to slide into there. The only way to do that is to bring the toe down on this double hinge so you get the space to slide it over. So bring this over, slide it on there. It is a tight fit, so I'm just forewarning you. Once you put it on there, it's very difficult to take it out. I'm not going to put it all the way in just so I have a little bit of space to take it off. But there you go. You could probably get it even closer. Like I said, I'm leaving a little room for myself. All right, same for this one. You can kind of push out a little bit on this. This is just a piece that's attached. Just show you. So you can just push out a little bit on the tires so that you get a little space. You're going to plug in down here. This one's actually easier to take off. It's just a straight upwards pull. You're going to push down on that. And then you're going to fold this in. And then close that up around it. All right, and that's the legs. I recommend for the next step, just pull this out. I think it's meant to be glued in there, so I will probably glue it in there. But since it comes out easily, I'm going to take it out for this next part. And we're going to open this up. And then we'll take the pants and attach this. So this one is pretty easy. It just slides in. So you push down, slide in. It's held on by friction. It's really tight. And again, like I mentioned, I'm trying to make it so I can take it back out, but you want to push it all the way forward as far as it'll go. For this one, same kind of thing. You're going to slide this forward. It is a very nice tight fit. And then you're going to close this behind it. You won't be able to do that unless you push it forward enough to get this to close behind it. There we go. So that's how it should be looking when you're done. All right, so for the torso, we're going to take this printed piece. I did attach these. These are just pushed in there. They're not coming out because they're really tight. So once you put them in there, you can't take them out. This will slide right into here. Again, nice tight fit. So you'll have a hard time taking it out once you put it in. So just be aware of that. You can kind of wiggle it on. It's a little tough, to be honest. There we go. That went on. Getting that off is going to be really difficult, but now we'll take the torso piece, combiner parts, and I forgot to mention this, but you only need combiner parts. You don't need any of the robots for this to work, which is the whole point, right? It's to liberate them. That's why it's called the Liberation Kit. Liberate your robots from being part of this. I'm just going to take these off, these wheels, because they like to fall off. Peg here and a peg here going into two circular slots. Down here you have a tab that's going into here. It's a cross, it's a T. It's going into this T slot. and then 2 spots here going into here. So all that kind of holds this on. It is very secure. Once you get it all in there, it sits really nice and flush. Then we're going to take the head. I just want to show you there's a tab slot right here and here. So when you push the head down, it just clips into place. Just push it gently onto the top. You don't need to really force it or anything. All right, next we'll take care of the chest plate. So go ahead and grab this. This is just the same as it was before. You just attach that onto the tabs that we have there. I like to do that after because otherwise it falls off sometimes. And then we can put these down here. Now we'll take care of the arms. So for the arms, this is the same as before, except now you're sliding downwards. So here's the slot you're going to insert here and slide it up. So pretty easy on this one. There you go. You bend the elbow. I'll show you. This is basically the same as before. So it's easier if you get the back tabs in first. If you decide to take this out, don't just pull on the hand. I actually caused a problem, broke one of my hands because I did that. I pulled here. Get a spudger and stick it in here and separate it. It's a very tight thing, so you don't want to break that. I'm going to put that back down. And then on this side, same kind of thing. We'll take the arm. And this is a sliding mechanism. They didn't fix they don't have anything to like hold it on there, but it's a very secure fit. So I'm not worried about it falling off, but push it in, slide it back. Again, I'm not going to slide it all the way back because I need to be able to take this out again. But give that a push. You'll hear it sliding along that plastic. It's very tight. There we go. I could hear it and I could feel it. And then for this hand, you can see there's a big gaping hole. Yeah, we're going to fill it with this. So just put this, you don't want this longer side or the thicker side on this side. Open up this panel right here. And that's going to go over these 2 little bumps and hold it on there. So get this inserted, make sure it's straight. And like I mentioned, this is a nice tight fit. Don't pull on the hand when you take it back out. Open this up and then use a spudger to pull it out. But for now, we're going to close that up. That's going to hold this hand on there. And finishing touch, since I took this off, you can reattach this. There's a line on the back, so you want that hidden. So insert that. And if you're permanently keeping it there, you can just glue it in there. All right, there's the QQT Studios Liberation Kit with the Magic Square Lord of War. And I do think it looks pretty good. I like the overall aesthetic. He's kind of more chunky in the legs and the arms. It still fits, you know, the overall proportions are still pretty good. But definitely more, you know, bulky. Here's how it looks from the side. You can see, you know, pretty thick leg, pretty thick arm. But it works. Here's the back. I like the backpack nice and smooth. You know, they got rid of all the transformation parts by having this backpack. So really all you need is the combiner parts to do this, right? You don't need anything else. Now people ask, you know, why not just print the whole thing, right? Print the entire figure. And the reason is you want to minimize the number of ratchets that you're having to make, because 3D printed ratchets are nowhere near as good as official, you know, die cast and plastic die cast springs with, you know, plastic joints ratchets. These are going to hold up for a lot longer. So it makes sense to use the combiner parts that they give you. Now for the arms, the elbows, obviously that joint and that joint, anywhere where you have articulation, the rotation here at the elbow, those are all built into the figure. So you have to replace those. But with this, I think it makes sense to retain as many of the joints as possible. And it works. So let's go over the articulation I'm going to go over really just the 3D printed kit. I'm not going to go over his articulation here in the midsection because that's the same, obviously, as the original. But for the arms, you have a rotation here on a ratchet. That still works just fine. Out to the side, it holds. No problems on this. This was a slide down joint, so it's it's not going to come off. It's gravity's holding it. You have a ratchet joint here, obviously a 3D printed ratchet, so use with caution. You do get the full 90-degree bend out of that. The wrist is still on the same joint, so all of this, the hand motions are the same, so I'm not going to bother looking with that. But let's go over this guy, because this is the one that falls off or has issues. And you can see it does actually collide a little bit here with this front, but you can rotate it straight and then it rotates all the way around. No problem, not falling off. It's pretty secure on there. Now, one of my suggestions, or maybe a complaint, is you can't really take this apart easily. Once you put it together, it's pretty tight. Everything's on there. I had to take it apart for the purpose of the review because, one, I've got to show you how to put it together, but two, I've got to do the G1 kit, which is coming soon. So I will have to remove it. My suggestion to you is, if you're going to get this kit and you're going to combine it, leave it combined. It's not really meant to take apart and put together many times. By the way, I did forget to mention, I did put the rotors back on. I glued these, and that's the best you could do. Unfortunately, I did let them know about this, so hopefully they'll change their shipping procedure and separate these. Just take out the screw before they ship it. Can't guarantee that they'll do that, but because it comes from QQT Studios this way with that installed. But I did make a recommendation, so hopefully they take my recommendation. Everything else on this arm is the same, but let's go try it out. You have ratchet joint up to there. It does rotate here on this ratchet. You do want to be careful with this. You can get that out of the way, and then you can rotate the arm out. This is very secure in here. That's not going anywhere, so all the arm hand motions are the same as before. Coming down to the legs, I'm going to skip the waist. The knee joint still works just fine. And ankle tilts work just like we did before. So no issues there. Although I would say, make sure this is pretty heavy. I would say make sure you have this collapsed all the way in. You can still extend this to get the double joint, but just due to the way it works, it's pretty thick back here. So you're not going to get much of a double jointed knee anymore with this. I'm not sure how many people are actually utilizing that double jointed knee for the combiner poses, but if you are, just note that you're going to have a hard time utilizing it with this thicker vehicle. But there you go for articulation. Overall, everything works as expected. Nice solid combiner. Arguably, maybe the most solid combiner, other than maybe Torwell Constructor. As far as accessories, we do get a 3D printed gun from QQT. It's really big, but it is styled like IDW, so that's why it looks like this. There's a tab, and then there's a slot, and the slot goes onto the tab in the hand. So you get a pretty secure fit once you get in there. It's pretty tight. You got to really push it in there. Once you do it, it's not going anywhere. It's very secure. Now, if you prefer, you don't like the long gun, you could probably pull this out and pull out the this piece too. And then you can have this shorter gun. I don't know. Is that better? It is keyed, by the way, so you have to put it in it only goes one direction. But I do like the fact that they gave you a gun, since we didn't get one with the original kit. And we're not getting one with the upgrade kit that's coming, the Tune kit. Now, I ordered it, but I haven't gotten the MS Tune kit. So when we get the Tune parts, it will look a little strange, just because we have now a mix of Tune parts with the QQT Studio IDW or toy parts. All right, and for comparison, there it is next to the Zeta Toys Bruticon, their version of a metallic toonish Bruticus. And this really surprised me. One thing is this head is really small compared to the rest of the body. This one is proportioned a little bit better. I'm not sure why. I never realized how small it was. Also, this is a Toon deco. It's got the Toon chest here with this die-cast piece. But the arms and the legs are done in like a IDW style, but then it's got the Toon feet. So it's kind of a mix and match of IDW and Toon. But definitely seeing them next to each other, I think the proportions on this QQT Studios with Magic Square are better. By the way, it did increase the height a little bit. We have a little bit taller now with the QQT Studios kit, right? Just increased the height ever so slightly. All right, and here is with the FunToy Marauder. Now this is also has the QQT Studios set on it. It's the same height as the original. It's just the arms and the legs have the add-on cars, and it does come into basically the same height as FunToys. The shoulder is obviously a little bit taller, but the ears are about the same. So if you're looking to get your combiners kind of at this height, I think this QQT set definitely does the trick. And overall, the proportions seem to match up better with the FunToys combiners. It's a little bit bigger, beefier. Overall, this works for me. So final recommendations on the QQT Studios IDW Liberation Kit for the Magic Square Lord of War. Just like all the other sets, I really like these. I'm going to give this a 4 to 5. I'll recommend it. Overall, it's pretty sturdy and strong. The plastic feels really good, with the exception to the blades for the Vortex here, which, broke in the box due to the packaging. I don't think it's an issue once you have it out of the box. It's really just the way it's packaged. It's also a thin part, so you want to be careful with that. But beyond that, this set is awesome. I think it looks really good. They nailed the IDW look. A lot of people told me that they think the upgrade kit looks a lot like the Zeta Toys Bruticus. And that's because Zeta Toys also made an IDW style Bruticus, right? They really went with this kind of look and these colors and this aesthetic. He does look more beefier and more of a brawler with this set. And I think that was the complaint from some people was, hey, he just looks he doesn't look like he's tough. And now he really does, just because the limbs are a little bit beefier. Overall, he looks good. The gun definitely adds to it. It's unfortunate that Magic Square didn't include a gun, but now that we have one, definitely makes a big difference. So yeah, I do recommend this, especially if you're into the IDW look. Now, we will be getting the Toon set also from the same store. I got this from the KK Barago car model store, and I'll put the link in the description if you're interested in buying it. It'll go directly to this item. You can pick either this or the G1 set, whatever you prefer. We will be looking at the Toon set. That's on its way. Just a forewarning though, because we've got the Toy Deco or IDW parts from Magic Square, we don't have the Toon parts yet. We're getting it, but right now we don't have it. It will look a little odd because we're mixing together the Toon limbs and with a Toy or IDW combiner parts. So once we get the Toon parts from Magic Square, I think that set will really shine and really look like a very Toon style Bruticus, and people will be really happy with that. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the KK Barago Camardo store for sending this from AliExpress, and we'll see you next time.
TM Reviews. What's up, YouTube fans?